Q2, Cam Peacock at IG. Cam, event risk aplenty for investors looking to be kind of still back-footed by it all, certainly on market performance so far today.
Yeah, good morning, Carson. Good morning, Maura. Look, our futures today have been all over the shop. An hour before trade this morning, we were calling the market, maybe up 20 points, and then we saw that late US sell-off, and all of a sudden we were looking at a flat open. I think we opened around the flat line. We maybe unwound a couple of points higher, and as things stand at the moment, just looking down at my screen, pretty flat, down about 1.4 points. Obviously, we had a terrible day yesterday, losing about 68 points or 1.5%, finishing at 6-week lows. And I think, as you said, sentiment pretty poor at the moment. It really has been since Obama got re-elected and these fiscal cliff concerns flared up. And then, of course, you've got all the uncertainty over Greece and when it will receive its next bailout tranche. So, it would have been nice to have seen the market rebound a little bit more from yesterday's drubbing. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case today, but I think it's worth putting the losses in context. 3.5 weeks ago, we were trading at in the 45.80s. Since that time, we've pulled back about 200 points, or about 4.3%. And that's the biggest pullback that we've had since the lows of early June, where we traded at 39.85. Since that time, we've had a 15% rally. So, putting it in context, the pullback we've seen over the last 2 or 3 weeks has only been less than 5%. So, certainly nothing to be too concerned about, I wouldn't have thought.
Cam, are you starting to get a feel at all about whether Australia's political uncertainty, the fact that we may be facing an election within the 12 months, is coming into investors' minds as a potential event risk here for the local market?
Look, I think people have been praying for an early election almost since the Gillard government got in, to be honest. I think it's scheduled for September next year, and depending on how certain issues play out across the parliament, there is the chance that we could be earlier than that. But I don't really think that's weighing into investors' mindsets at the moment. I think it's more global macro issues like the Chinese transition and how that's going to affect the Chinese growth trajectory, the fiscal cliff issues in the US, and of course, the ongoing issues in Greece that are really dominating our market at the moment.
And not to mention, of course, Spain and their bailout and whether that's going to happen or not anytime soon.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's a fourth element that you can throw into the mix. I think for the last 12 months we've been mired in a lot of uncertainty. Some of those things are starting to play out now. We are in the midst of the Chinese transition. I think over the next 6 to 8 weeks we're going to have some sort of resolution to the US fiscal cliff issue. I think most people are expecting to see that issue being resolved, although it could be a really last-minute deal that is forthcoming. And then Greece, I think most people expect them to eventually receive their bailout funding. It's just the typical European way, as we've seen over the last 2 or 3 years, is to leave everything to the last minute.
Cam, we've got to go. Thanking you so much as always.
No worries. Thanks, Carson. Thanks, Maura.